everyone, my name is Emily, and my voice sounds like death. Death, or Ash Ketchum's drugged out cousin, Ass Ketchum, whose idea of a good time is to hang out and smoke a pack of cigarettes behind the 7-Eleven on Fridays. I'm just trying to pick up some chicks. But anyway, the world rejoiced. I lost my voice over the weekend, so this is what you're getting. I am so sorry in advance. But hopefully my vocal cords will loosen up as I record this audio, and maybe I will sound better as we go through the video. Today, I'm going to talk you guys through how to make basic stickers. I'm going to tell you what programs I use, what equipment I use, what kind of paper I use, and where to get it, and I'm basically going to walk you from start to finish on how I make stickers. HUION was nice enough to upgrade my KAMVAS Pro 12 tablet to a GT 191 tablet, so I will be using that to create my digital art, and I will be giving a brief review at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Now, you don't necessarily have to create your images for your stickers digitally. You can create something traditionally and take a high resolution picture or scan of it and use whatever editing software you have to kind of cut it out and make a PNG of it. But to keep things simple, I made all my sticker designs digitally in Photoshop CC. Right now, I currently pay $52 US a month to have access to a bunch of Adobe programs, including but not limited to Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, etc., etc. But obviously, the very first step is to come up with an idea. And I had wanted to make some Detective Pikachu stickers. I wanted them to be cute, but I also wanted them to be a little bit different, you know, to kind of set them apart from other Pokemon stickers. It's a little difficult when, like, it's Pokemon, you know, there's a look, you know what I mean, for Pokemon, so it was a little difficult figuring out exactly how I wanted to make them look different. So I decided to kind of stick with the Pokemon style and cell shading, but I decided that the composition of the stickers themselves were going to be a little different. I kind of positioned everything in like an Americana tattoo kind of style. And not that that's too incredibly original or anything, but I do think it separated them from other Pokemon stickers that I had been seeing. I needed to stay on brand, guys. OMG, hashtag influencer life. Oh my god. If I stop talking like this, I'll fucking die. So I went ahead and designed those stickers, but I also needed my Patreon exclusive sticker for that month. And since it was May, I decided to make a May sticker. And I wanted to go like totally opposite of what I normally do. So I made this super cute, bubbly, violently pink mermaid girl. I also decided to give her a little companion, which is my original little creation creature thing, which I like to call a legless spider, but in reality, it's like a beanbag with a spider face on it. And wings. I guess in this case, it's fins. I drew this little creature like 10 years ago, and every now and again, he'll pop up in my artwork for no reason, but he's just like the cutest, smushiest little thing in the whole world, and I just want to woo. Back to professionalism. Make sure before you start the following steps, you have saved your project as a .psd. That way, if you ever want to make tweaks to your sticker later, you are still able to. Make sure the resolution for your original drawing is between 250 and 350 dpi. I always use 300. Otherwise, when you attempt to squash and stretch your image, it will turn out pixelated and it will look terrible.
Absolutely horrible.
So once I've finished my drawing, I go ahead and delete the sketch. I merge all the layers of the drawing. I turn the background into an unlocked layer, and I delete the background. If you'd like to create outlines around your image to make sure that you're appropriately spacing your sticker on the sticker sheet, select the entirety of your image, then use the move tool to slightly move your image, and the selection should automatically adhere to the edges of your drawing. Hit select, modify, expand, and you can kind of play with how many pixels you want your selection to expand by. However far away it is from your drawing, that's how thick your outline is going to be. Once you've done that, create another layer, drag that layer underneath your drawing, then use the paint bucket tool and select the color white because that will obviously print invisible when you print your stickers. and dump the paint bucket tool in the selection in that new layer. If you do want a colored outline so you can see where to cut, that's totally fine too. Now deselect the selection and merge the two layers together. Make sure you're not flattening the image because that will remove our transparency and we don't want that. By now you should just have the one layer, which is your drawing, and then a checkerboard background, which represents transparency. Save this file as a .png to maintain the transparency in the background. Then create a completely new canvas that matches the dimensions of your sticker paper. In my case, it's a standard 8.5 by 11 inches. Make sure you have the background color as transparent. Now go back to your original image, select all, copy, and paste it onto the new canvas. From here, make sure you have the smart guides on. You can do this by going up to the info panel, selecting View, Show, and select Smart Guides. These little pink boys will help. These little pink boys will help you know exactly how far away to space your stickers. They'll help you line up your rows. They'll help you get everything in order. So make sure you're taking full advantage of this tool. Figure out roughly how big you want your stickers to be. You can either adjust it on the new canvas, just have one sticker, lower the opacity, and print it on regular paper to kind of visualize how big they are, or adjust it on screen and then take a ruler and hold it up against your paper to kind of visualize how large the sticker is going to be. I prefer to do it the second way because then I don't have to print anything. I don't have to waste even a drop of ink. If you're not sure about the colors and how they're going to print out, you can always print out a very, very small version of your sticker, but I don't really recommend that because one, you're going to probably print it on regular printer paper and that color is not going to represent what the sticker paper is going to look like, and two, nobody's going to waste sticker paper by printing out one teeny tiny little sticker. That doesn't make any sense. Just remember that with sticker paper, particularly glossy sticker paper, that the stickers are going to print out a lot more saturated than they may appear on your screen. Anyway, fit your stickers onto a row how you'd like them to be printed. Sometimes that means staggering them, flipping them upside down, do what you gotta do to make it fit and use as much paper as humanly possible. Nobody likes a wasteful Wallace.
Nobody.
We hate you, Wallace. Respect the damn environment. From here, I load one sheet of sticker paper into my rear tray with thicker papers like this. Thicker sticker papers. Kill me. Now, you want to make sure that you're only putting one sheet in at a time to avoid paper jams. For my printer, I just have a very basic Canon Pixma TS9120. We're planning on investing in a nicer printer down the road, but for right now, this actually works pretty great for me. It's got a scanner, it's got a printer, and it's wireless. Why fix something that's not broken? And you can get it on Amazon for about $110. Not sponsored, I'm dying. I'm not sponsored by Canon to say nice things about their printer. I'm just saying that you don't need a hyper expensive fancy printer to print good stickers. So I'd recommend getting an inkjet printer for sure over a laser printer if you're planning on doing prints and stickers, especially if you're like me and you're only going to be doing small batches of merchandise at a time. I use the Royal Elements waterproof sticker paper as well as their waterproof matte sticker paper and their glossy photo sticker paper. The first two are printable vinyl and the last one is just photo paper. So far, this is the absolute best sticker paper I have ever used. It's a little bit more on the pricey side, but it's 100% worth it in my opinion. Once I've loaded my paper into the rear tray with the glossy side facing forward, I go back to Photoshop, I go to print settings, I'm making sure that I'm only printing on one side of the paper. I go to media and quality. I make sure I'm printing from the rear tray. I make sure that photo paper is selected, and I make sure I am printing at the best quality possible. Also make sure you are only printing one copy since you only have one sheet of paper loaded. Doing one sheet at a time may seem like a really big hassle, but I promise you it's so much better than pulling your hair out over a paper jam. Now all you have to do is print your sticker sheet and wait. weight. Make sure you don't pull or touch the paper as it's coming out of the printer, as it may smudge or smear the ink and ruin your stickers. Once your sheet is printed, move it to somewhere up high and out of the way so you're not going to be getting lint or animal hair on it, and leave it to dry for at least a few hours. People usually recommend 24 hours, but I usually leave them for at least 6 or 7. If you're in a ginormous hurry and you need your stickers dry so you can cut them out, you may use a hairdryer on the cold setting. If you use the heat setting, the adhesive may melt in the back of the sticker paper and that protective layer on the back may come loose, so keep that in mind. Once your stickers have fully dried, put on your favorite show or your favorite music and get to cutting. Make sure you cut your stickers at a slower pace. Make sure you are rounding any edges. It will help prevent anything catching on the sticker and pulling it up once it's been laid down. That's why you don't want any abnormal jagged edges. This process is really time consuming and can be painful for your hands, so make sure you're taking frequent breaks or get somebody to help you. If your hand is really hurting and you're creating kind of a callus on your finger, run your hand under cold water and that should help reduce the swelling. Sticker making is serious bees, man. If you want to take it one step further like I did here, I ordered some cardstock and designed a header for the packaging of my stickers. I bought some 3x4 plastic Ziploc bags at a local craft store, put my stickers inside of it, then I went back to Photoshop. I made sure my canvas was 3.5 by 3.5, so it would be just a little bit bigger than the width of the plastic bags. I cut my canvas in half with a low opacity dotted line. I created a logo, and this part is optional. I mirrored the logo for the back of the packaging as well. I did that by duplicating the logo and then flipping it both vertically and horizontally and repositioning it at the top of the canvas. Once I was done, I created a sheet of the headers, making sure to space them appropriately, and then I printed them out on cardstock with all the exact same specifications as before. The only difference is under media type, I selected plain paper because that is the texture of the cardstock. Because the cardstock dries so much faster than any glossy paper would, I left them to dry for 2 hours, cut them out, folded them, and then began to staple them to my plastic bags with my stickers in them. And voila! Here is the completed sticker pack. It may sound like a really time-consuming process, and it can be, but it's also a really fun process. I feel like it's one of those things where you can kind of just zone out. You can have music in the background, you can have a show in the background, and you can just kind of relax and package these things like a robot, like a one-person sticker factory. Is that just me? Am I the only one who finds that relaxing? Is it really stressful and I'm just like trying to tell myself it's relaxing? I don't know, but I enjoy it. So let me talk about this GT191. It's got a 19-inch screen display. It comes with a pen, new nibs, and all the hardware you're going to need to set it up. It also came with one of those pinky ring finger drawing gloves, the black kind that you see a lot of animators and tablet digital artists using. I have baby hands, so it was a little bit too big for me, but I do appreciate that extra surprise. The 3 things that impressed me the most were the actual display itself. It was able to mirror the quality of my MacBook Pro very, very well. I would say the quality was a little bit better than my KAMVAS Pro 12, but not by much, but still very impressive. I also really liked the stand in the back of it. You can pull up on a lever and adjust it at any height that feels comfortable to you, and it's not complicated to do at all. The base of the stand has rubber on the bottommost foot, if you will, so it prevents it from sliding around your table, which I really, really liked, because the stand on the KAMVAS Pro 12, I just was not here for it. If you recall, I had to put blue tack on the lip of the stand for the KAMVAS Pro 12, and even with the blue tack, it would want to slip off, so that was something I really didn't like, so this is a huge upgrade from that. I also really like the software that it came with. It's the exact same software as the KAMVAS Pro 12, very user-friendly. Your grandma could set it up if you really wanted her to. I also really like the actual texture of the screen itself. It's slick enough that the pen moves nice and easy across it, and it's not so slick that my pen is slipping around and making a bunch of mistakes. I feel like the new HUION tablets are trying to incorporate more of a paper feel to their tablets, which I really appreciate that attention to detail. I think it's so much of a thing now that companies are now coming out with sheets to put over your iPad so that your iPad feels like paper. But I think HUION's doing it right. Now on to the thing that I don't like about it. Now both the GT191 and the KAMVAS Pro 12 12 are said to have 8,192 levels of pen pressure, but for some reason with the GT191, it feels like I have to press harder to engage the brush tool. And this is, of course, compared to the KAMVAS Pro 12. Actually, I just triple checked and I figured out why. It's because the GT191 does not have pen tilt support, whereas the KAMVAS Pro 12 does have pen tilt support. So it's not necessarily that I have to push harder, it's just that I have to make sure that I'm not tilting my pen too far to the side, otherwise it is not registering against the screen. But that just tells you right there that there is a noticeable difference between having the pen tilt support and not having it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I personally don't like it because it did take a long time for me to get used to switching to this tablet. But if you've never had a tablet before, or you've only ever had a tablet without a screen display, then this shouldn't be any issue for you. There's a learning curve when switching to a tablet with a screen anyway. Also, I just kind of figured I'd throw this in, but DeBabes, my almost 2-year-old son, was drawing on the tablet, and I was telling him to be really gentle and nice, and he was, for the most part, but then just randomly out of nowhere, he just started stabbing the display with the pen, and I freaked out. But even with his hyper baby crazy strength, it didn't crack the screen. The screen was totally fine. The pen was totally fine. It withstood a 5-second baby barrage, so I feel like that is a testament to how well built these products are. These are very solid products. They don't feel like fragile screens. They feel sturdy. Both my GT191 and my KAMVAS Pro 12 feel sturdy, like they can take the heat, girl. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back into the pros there for a second. I've got one more con. Every now and again, and it hasn't happened in a while, so I don't know if it was a software thing or what, but I'd be drawing on top of a layer that had low opacity, so like a sketch layer, and for some reason I would get a bunch of these extra pixels. Again, it doesn't happen as much anymore, and I feel like I've been working with digital art a lot more recently, but for some reason for like 6 months I was getting all these like weird extra pixels everywhere, and I don't really know why that was happening. What leads me to believe it was the tablet and not a software problem is I have my screen displays mirrored. My laptop and my monitor are the exact same thing. These extra pixels would show up on my tablet but not on my laptop screen. Even though this hasn't happened in a long time, it happened enough before that I did make note of it. It may just be my tablet, or it may have just been like a little glitchy thing, I'm not sure, but I still feel like it deserves to be in the con list and still be kind of a word of warning that that may happen. Mind you, these extra pixels did go away within, I'd say, 30 seconds to a minute of them appearing. The last thing I want to touch on real quick, which I feel like everybody already knows about HUION tablets, is that they are affordable for what you get. Drawing tablet technology in general is very expensive. Wacom dominated the market for a very long time, essentially keeping drawing tablets out of the reach for any low-income artists. And for HUION to swoop in, even out the market, and make products available for people who may not be able to afford a $1,000 tablet right off the bat, I think is a very admirable thing. But they're a business, and the reason that they send out their products to YouTubers and influencers and things like that to try is so that they can spread the word and they can sell more product so that they can continue to make inexpensive product for artists who are just starting out their career and may not be making much. But anyway, the clapping baby score for the HUION GT191 is 3 clapping babies out of 5. The only reason it lost that half a point from the KAMVAS Pro 12 is because it does not support the pen tilt technology. But other than that, it gets the job done. It's been working great with editing videos, with creating digital art. I think you're getting a really good product for the price. However, if I had to be 100% honest, I would recommend the KAMVAS Pro 12 over the GT191. If you can get over working on a smaller screen, I feel like the KAMVAS Pro 12 gives you a little bit of a higher quality product than the GT191. But because I work not only in digital art, but in occasional animation and video editing for this channel, the GT191 serves my needs really, really well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to stay out of trouble. See you guys later. This video was brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the channel, please go to www.patreon.com/EmilyArtful. Thanks again for watching.